صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Chapter on what is said regarding the armor of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the coat of mail during the battle. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "As for Khalid, he has kept his armor for Allah's cause." Narrated Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, while in a tent on the day of the battle of Badr, said, "O Allah, I request you to fulfill your covenant and your promise. O Allah, if your will is that none should worship you after today." Abu Bakr then held him by the hand and said, "This is sufficient, O Allah's Messenger. You have appealed to your Lord too pressingly." The Prophet, peace be upon him, was clad in his armor at that time. He went out saying, "Their multitude will be put to flight, and they will show their backs. Nay, but the hour is their appointed time for their full recompense, and that hour will be more grievous and more bitter." Quran, chapter 54, verse 45 and verse 46. Khalid said, "That was on the day of the battle of Badr." See volume 5, Hadith number 3953. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, died while his iron armor was mortgaged to a Jew for 30 sa' of barley. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The example of a miser and the one who gives in charity is like the example of two men wearing iron cloaks so tightly that their arms are raised forcibly towards their collar bones. So whenever a charitable person intends to give in charity, his cloak spreads over his body so much so that it wipes out his traces. But whenever the miser intends to give in charity, the rings of the iron cloak come closer to each other and press over his body, and his hands get connected to his collar bones." Abu Hurairah heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying, "The miser then tries to widen it, but in vain." Footnote 1. Traces here stands for sins. Charitable deeds cancel one's sins. Footnote 2. When a miser thinks of paying in charity, he feels dispirited and bored and remains clinging to his miserliness.